Afghanistan, a country known for its stunning landscapes and rugged terrain. For centuries, mighty empires and powerful nations have marched into Afghanistan thinking they could conquer and control it. From the Persians to the British, from the Soviets to the Americans, they all entered Afghanistan with great plans. Among them was Alexander the Great, one of history's most legendary military leaders. But here's the twist. None of them could hold on to it for long. They all left, defeated or frustrated. But why? Why is Afghanistan a land that everyone wants, but no one can hold? You might be thinking, it's the geography, right? The mountains, the harsh winters, the tough terrain. Yes, that's a big part of it. Afghanistan's geography is famously challenging, but there's more to this story. A lot more. Beyond the difficult landscape, there are deep-rooted cultural, political, and social factors that make Afghanistan nearly impossible to control. It's a place where external powers have always underestimated the people's resilience, their fierce independence, and their complex tribal dynamics. Let's dive into the reasons why history has repeated itself over and over in Afghanistan. Let's explore the history of Afghanistan and see who tried to conquer it, how they did it, and why they couldn't hold on. Let's start with Alexander the Great. In 330 BC, he invaded Afghanistan as part of his campaign to conquer the Persian Empire. He faced fierce resistance from the local tribes, especially the Afghan tribes known as the Bactrians. Alexander's army spent nearly 3 years fighting relentless battles in the region. The Bactrians, using their knowledge of the mountainous terrain, engaged in guerrilla warfare that frustrated the Macedonian forces. Despite his military genius, Alexander struggled to maintain control. Eventually, he decided to marry a local princess, Roxana, in a bid to secure his hold on the region. But even this strategy couldn't pacify the fierce independence of the Afghan tribes. Frustrated by the constant uprisings and the impossibility of maintaining control, Alexander eventually moved on, focusing his efforts elsewhere, leaving behind a tenuous and temporary grip on the region. Next, the Persian Empire, specifically under Darius I in the 6th century BC, tried to control Afghanistan. The region known as Arachosia, modern-day Kandahar, was crucial to their empire. But like Alexander, the Persians faced constant revolts from local tribes. The Persians could never fully integrate Afghanistan into their empire due to the fierce resistance of these tribes, who valued their autonomy above all else. Now, fast forward to the 19th century when the British Empire attempted to conquer Afghanistan during the Anglo-Afghan Wars. In 1839, the British invaded, aiming to install a puppet ruler and prevent Russian influence in the region. They initially succeeded in capturing Kabul, but their control was superficial. The Afghans, particularly the Pashtun tribes, revolted. In 1842, after facing continuous guerrilla attacks and a harsh winter, the British were forced to retreat. The retreat from Kabul is infamous. The entire British force, numbering around 16,000, was nearly annihilated during the retreat, with only a single survivor making it back to India. This devastating loss made it clear to the British that Afghanistan was more than just another colonial conquest. It was a place where no foreign power could easily impose its will. In the 20th century, the Soviet Union attempted to impose its influence by invading Afghanistan in 1979. The Soviets were met by the Mujahideen, Afghan fighters who waged a brutal guerrilla war against the occupiers. The Mujahideen were well supported by the United States and other countries who provided them with weapons and training. The Soviet forces, despite their technological superiority, were unable to suppress the resistance. They faced ambushes, hit-and-run attacks, and a hostile population. After nearly 10 years of conflict, which left thousands of Soviet soldiers dead and the Afghan countryside devastated, the Soviet Union withdrew in 1989. The war had drained the Soviet economy and morale, contributing to the eventual collapse of the Soviet Union itself. Finally, in 2001, the United States and its allies invaded Afghanistan, aiming to dismantle terrorist networks and establish a democratic government. Initially, the Taliban government was toppled quickly, but the conflict soon turned into a long, drawn-out war. The Taliban regrouped, using Afghanistan's rugged terrain to launch insurgent attacks. The US and its allies found themselves in a situation similar to previous invaders, trying to maintain control over a population that resisted foreign influence. After 2 decades of fighting, in 2021, the US withdrew from Afghanistan, leaving the Taliban back in control. The long and costly war once again demonstrated that Afghanistan remains unconquerable. So why couldn't these powerful empires hold Afghanistan? It's not just the challenging geography, it's also the people, their strong desire for independence, their knowledge of the land, and their resilience. They value their freedom and have always resisted external control. Time and again, invaders underestimated these factors, leading to their inability to maintain lasting control over Afghanistan. Hit that subscribe button now and join our community of curious minds exploring the past, present, and future together. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.